This is our first hive check at Edenwood Ranch. It's been about 2.5 to 3 weeks since we let the bees do their thing. Unfortunately, we've had some days of bad weather when we wanted to go out, and even today there was sprinkles in the morning. It was a little windy, which I found out that bees do not like, and they're a little bothered when it's a little chillier and it's also the windy and rainy. This is me getting the smoker set up. There's a couple different things that I played with. I found it was easy to light newspaper on fire, but newspaper didn't create a good smoke. It more burned hot because it was just creating flame the entire time. I did try pine needles. That seemed to work very well. And then just dead grass laying around the hive I was able to take and help with the bees. As you can see, as I approach the hive, I try coming at it from behind and the side. They say if you come in from the front, they get a little weary, thinking you're an attacker. And here I'm just inspecting the feeder. So our feeder unfortunately got some mold in it. You can't really do much with the mold as long as the mold isn't getting into the hive. We just clean the feeder when we got a chance. We used a very, very, very tiny bit of bleach and then used just water to help rinse it out and get rid of that mold. As you can see right away, this hive has, for some reason, just always been aggressive. And probably the colder day and the wind and the light sprinkles probably did not help with that. So here I'm just taking a break, trying to let the bees calm down. Now I try going back in. Things that I'm looking for this first hive check are, I'm looking for the eggs. I'm removing any burr comb, or I at least attempted to, before the bees started getting mad again. I did try spending a little bit of time finding the queen. I could not find her, but I was able to find eggs, and they were in a pretty consistent laying pattern. There was also larvae starting to grow too. And then I also looked for any queen cells being formed. This hive, I did not find any. And then lastly, I was looking for more cap brood. After going through this hive, there was about 70 to 80% of the hive had frames that were full. The first 2 frames that I pulled were not. On that second frame that I pulled, you could see that the bees were extruding that comb. So it was starting to fill up. The point of this hive check was to see if I needed a second deep on there. And because we were 80% full, I figured the hive could expand. Now again, this was a fussy hive, so I kind of wanted to be in and out. I did find that I chose the wrong frame to pull to the top. There was one frame that just was built a little bit differently than the others, and the comb was a little funky and it didn't fit back into place when I tried placing it. So I took that one and put it on the top of the second brood box. Now that was a mistake because that second brood box then had 2 frames impacted because of the messed up comb. So unfortunately, it had 1 frame that was unused in the second brood box when we checked it a couple weeks ago. Now here again, I was just looking at the bees to see if I could find the queen. I do not have her marked. I was thinking about marking her, but just as a beginner beekeeper, I did not want to mess up and accidentally kill the queen, seeing that this was my first hive. So I was just trying to visually inspect. After I was removing this burr comb, the bees really got aggressive. I think what happened was I maybe dropped the frame a little too hard, and that caused a lot of bees to pop up. Again, I think also a big reason why these bees are a little bit more aggressive is they're being bothered by the other animals on the ranch. As you can see, our fence kind of is taken down a little bit. I think some of the elk are nudging off the rocks that are sitting on top of the hive, and then I'm guessing they're just getting irritated consistently. So for next year, I think one of our big goals is to try to limit the amount of animals that can go around there and potentially set up some sort of solar electric fencing. As I'm putting that frame back into the hive, I think some bees were in the way and got frustrated, started coming up, and then when I dropped it the last like half an inch, you can see a bunch of them fly up at me. Again, it's an aggressive hive. There's nothing you can really do about it. I've been reading up on it and telling me if anyone has any other suggestions, but it sounds like the older bees that probably got annoyed by an animal are the ones causing the aggression. I did recognize in these past few weeks with the newer bees, or the second brood box, that I was able to get through 60% of the frames, and then all of a sudden a bee had ended up getting upset, stung me, and I just had to walk away because a bunch of the other ones were upset too.